Okay, good morning everyone. In this video, we're going to talk about yet another AWS service, which is known as Secrets Manager. So we'll be seeing how to set up a Secrets Manager, what is Secret Manager, and how to set up a Secrets Manager and integrate with our Springboard application. So that will be the goal of this video. Now let's get started. So what is an AWS Secrets Manager? It is nothing but an AWS service that makes it easier for you to manage secrets. Now, secrets can be a database credential, passwords, third-party API keys, and even any arbitrary text. So we can store and control access of these secrets centrally by using the service called Secrets Manager, using a console or a CLI or through Java or Python SDKs. So this is what Secrets Manager is, and this is what it gives you. Now, let us see what is that in our screen. We are saying AWS is used to store credentials of your application. So we no longer have to hard code the passwords of database or any third-party tools in your application.property files, or you don't even have to hard code them in your code. So you instead save them in Secrets Manager and you let your application talk to the Secrets Manager to retrieve these credentials as and when your application needs it. The third most important feature, if you can see the third point, Secrets Manager has features such as rotation of keys. So whenever you want to change your keys, you don't have to do any change in your code. Secrets Manager does it for you. So you can configure your Secrets Manager in a way that you can rotate your keys every 30 days or every 60 days, something like that. Right? And you can encrypt the passwords in Secrets Manager using the AWS Key Management Service, which is yet another service offered by AWS. Now, the last point is something which I want you to know, that the cost of storing per secret is $0.04 and additional of $0.05 for every 10,000 API calls. So this comes with a cost. Initially, when you set up a Secrets Manager, you get a trial period of 30 days, which is free. After the trial period, you will be charged per secret and the number of calls you make to the AWS Secrets Manager. So now that we have seen what a Secret Manager does for you, now let us go to our AWS console and we can try to explore the console a bit. I'll show you how to create a Secrets Manager or how to store a key in a Secrets Manager. So go to the services, click on Secrets Manager, and this is the dashboard which you will be seeing. So you have to click on store a new secret, and now here you can see a couple of options. So we're not gonna save any credentials of RDS, so we'll just try to save some random property files. So let me select this other type of secrets, and here you can start storing your keys in the form of key value pair. So since we are trying to integrate this in our Springboard applications, so whatever keys you store in your application.property files, we'll save it in Secrets Manager. For the sake of simplicity, let me try to save a simple property called server.port, and let me give some value called 8000, right? Oops. So 8000. Ideally, in production scenarios, we won't be saving such properties. We'll only try to save something like a password or something which is very sensitive information, which should not go in wrong hands. But for this demo, I'll just try to showcase with a simple property called server.port, because we're not gonna use any RDS or any database and we try to complicate the demo. This is just to show you how to integrate Springboard with Secrets Manager. Now here I'm trying to use the default encryption key, and click on next. Here I need to give a name to my secrets. So I think I'll try to give something like this: /bytenovus/sm. This is the prefix and this is the application name. So generally you can give any name of your choice, but the general naming convention is we give uh, something which is specific to your project and then the name of your application. So let me give ByteNodes applications or application 1. All right, description, it's optional. You can also give some tags, which is optional, and then you can edit the permissions. Like you can see, you can set up some specific roles that your secrets manager should be accessed. Currently for this demo we don't need anything, so I'll just go with next. And this is yet another interesting feature, and this is something very unique to secrets manager. This is called rotation of keys. So currently I'm disabling rotation of keys, but in ideal production environment you would set up this radio button, and you can choose what is the duration of key interval that you want to rotate your keys, right? And here you can also choose a specific lambda function which has the logic to rotate your keys. But we won't need it for now, so let me disable this option and click on next. The next screen you will see a summary page, and if I scroll down you will see some sample code snippets for various programming languages. So if you're using a Java standalone, you can straight away use this code. This has all the necessary code to connect to your secrets manager. If you're using JavaScript, you can use this C#, Python, Ruby, Go. This has a lot of interesting tech stack here, but we don't need this. We are good. So let me click on store. So here we are. This is the secrets manager which we created, and if I go inside, I can click on retrieve secrets value. You can see the secrets which we have stored here, which is server.port, and the secret value is 8000. All right, so now that we are done with this, let us go back to our Eclipse, and we can see how to create a Springboard application which will talk to this particular service of AWS Secrets Manager and retrieve the properties. So in Springboard application, we'll see a step-by-step process that you need, starting with the POM file. Now, this is the one dependency that your POM file requires for you to connect to a Secrets Manager. So you can just copy the Spring Cloud Starter AWS Secrets Manager config. This dependency you need it. I'm not giving any version here, but if you want to give a specific version, you can do that. Once you add this dependency in your application, the next step is you need to create a meta-inf folder. I'll show you everything in my Eclipse, but before going to the code, let me just tell you the essential files that your application need. So go to your src main resource, create a subfolder called meta-inf. Inside meta-inf, you create a file called spring.factories, and you just have to copy paste this line. Well, you may have to change the path. In my project, the path I have given is com.secrets.manager.spring-secrets-manager, and the class file name is AWS Secrets Manager Bootstrap configuration. Now, what is the purpose of this file? So as you know, when your application is loaded, and if you want to pass some custom configuration file which your application should use while starting up their application, so you need to create a file called spring.factories and give the path in the full package name of your class file in this spring.factories. So whatever configuration file class path you give in spring.factories, it will be loaded during the startup of your application. And the last thing you need is the bootstrap.yaml file. These are the bare minimum properties that you need to connect to your AWS Secrets Manager. Although all of these are optional, it's okay even if you don't have this, but if you don't give this, then your application will use the default values, right? So for your understanding, I have implemented all of these properties in my bootstrap.yaml file. Now let us go back to my Eclipse. So this is our Eclipse. So let me first open the POM file and show you the dependency which we have added, as we saw in the previous clips. So in my POM file, all of this is optional. You don't have to bother about it. The only main thing is this little guy sitting here. So this is what you need to keep it in your pom.xml. Okay, and the next thing which we saw is the meta-inf folder. As I said, in src main resource, create a folder called meta-inf. Go there, create a file called spring.factories, and add this little line here. You may change this package name based on your project structure, and I'm going to show you what is there in this file. This is AWS Secrets Manager Bootstrap configuration. This is lying over here. So let me open this for you. So as the name goes, you will only keep the package name in spring.factories, which is supposed to be a configuration file. So it's obvious that I'll annotate this with @configuration, and at enable configuration properties, this will have a class file which will load the property file. So if I just go to this file, so here you can see the properties which we saw in our previous video, the bootstrap.yaml, if you remember. So this has all the properties like prefix, default context, profile separator, fail fast, region. So this has all the properties which you need to give in your bootstrap.yaml file. If you don't give, as I said, it will pick up the default values. The default values are all given here, as you saw on the previous video. Or you can override these values by overriding these properties in your bootstrap.yaml file. Conditional on property, and this is something this class will be enabled on condition. And what are those conditions? If the property aws.secretsmanager.enabled, only then this configuration will be picked up. So not to confuse you further, let me go to the bootstrap.yml, and these are the properties which you saw. aws.secretsmanager.default context, even if I don't give it application as a default value. Prefix is /bytenovus/sm. Why do I give this? Because this is the name in which we created our secrets. Profile separator, we will discuss this later. Fail fast equal to true. Say for example, when you start your application and for some reason it is not able to pick the secret keys from the secrets manager. So what do you have to do? Whether you want your application to start anyhow or you want your application to terminate. So if I give fail fast true, then your application will terminate. If I give fail fast equal to false, then it will just throw an exception in your console and go ahead and start your application. Name I have set as bytenovus application. If I don't give this, then it will give the name, it will pick up the name from spring.application.name property. And enabled equal to true. So when I give enabled equal to true, so if I go back to my configuration here, what we say, if this property aws.secretsmanager is enabled, only then this configuration will be picked up during the startup of your application. So that is what we do here. I'm setting aws.secretsmanager enabled equal to true. So if I make this false, then you can start your application, but it will not connect your secrets manager. So you're basically, it's like a toggle. You can either switch it on or switch it off. In some projects, you will have application properties in your application, or in some case you want to pick up from the secrets manager, so you can just enable or disable the service as per your wish. So that's it. It's pretty simple. This is all that you need to connect to your secrets manager. So let me go back to the console and show you. So here by default, if you have worked in Spring Boot, your Spring Boot, you have to configure a key called server.port in your application.properties, and whatever port you specify, your Spring Boot will start in that particular port, right? So by default it picks up 8080, but if you want to override and change the port, you can just add this value server.port in your application.properties. Now what do I do here for this demo is I'm gonna start my Springboard application, and it should now start in the port 8000 and not 8080, because it's gonna pick up the value from the secrets manager. And the name here, I think we have given bytenovus 1. Just to confirm, let me go back. Let me go here. Yeah, as you can see, it's bytenovus/sm. This is the prefix, followed by the application name, which is bytenovus application 1. It is appended by some alphanumeric characters. We can ignore this, but in your bootstrap.yaml file, this is what we have given, right? So this is the prefix and this is the application name. And now let's start this application. Let's fire this up. Okay, so let me start the console and see in which port is our application coming up. As you can see, the Tomcat has started in the port 8000. Amazing. So if you are still doubtful, let me disable this. Now, since I have disabled this application, it should start with the default port. Since I have not given any default port, it should start with 8080 now. Okay, let me shut it down properly and start it back. Yeah, it is started on port 8080, so it's obvious because we are not making our application to talk to Secrets Manager, and in Springboard, if you don't give a server.port, it picks up 8080 as a default value. I hope now this is clear. Let me also give you some more tidbits. Like for example, generally we have different profiles in our Spring Boot application, and we have different property files for each profile. You have application underscore dev.properties, application underscore prod.properties. So basically you have a whole lot of profiles configured for your application. And if you want in dev, then you connect to the database of dev environment. If you're running this app in prod server, then you connect to the database which is running in prod servers. You have different configuration for each environment, right? So how do we do that? It's very simple. So for that purpose, let me create a new secrets where we'll be storing something specific to the prod environment. So here I'll just give the same property, server dot port, and I think in last time I gave 8000, now I'll give 9000. All right, and go to next. Here I'll give the same name. Only thing is I'll give a profile name as dev, right? So rest all is going to be the same, nothing is going to change. So I'll click on next and click on next and store. So as you can see, we have created two secrets. One is a default profile, and another one a profile specific to dev environment. So basically it is similar like how you have application.properties and application underscore dev.properties. All right, so now I'll go back to my application.properties, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add spring.active profiles active, sorry. So I'm going to give this and set the value as dev, and I'm going to start this application. Now let's see which port is this. One more thing, I have to enable the secrets manager. I forgot to do that. So let me go back to Bootstrap and enable this. Excellent. Now let me start my application. So as our configuration, it should start in the port 9000. Let us see whether it does that. Bingo, here you see it has started in the port 9000. So based on whatever profile I want to start, it will pick up the particular properties in that particular secrets profile which we have created in our console. Another thing is fail fast. So let me show you a small demo with this fail fast :true. So as I said, if there is some difficulty in fetching the properties or connecting to the secrets manager, you need to tell your application whether to terminate or just bypass that and go ahead with your app and start your application. So let me go ahead and delete this, right? And delete secret. and go to this and delete this as well. And in my Springboard, what I'm going to say is fail fast equal to true. So at this time, when I'm going to start my Springboard, it's not going to find those keys. So it should stop the application. It should not allow the application to start. So let me see if that happens. So I'm firing up the application. So this should throw an exception now. Yes, so it's just saying you can't perform this operation on the secret because it was marked for deletion. So, and you can see the application is terminated. I'm not able to start. But if I set the fail fast as false, so it will still throw an exception, but it will still go ahead and start the application for us. Right, so started. Let's go back to the console. You can still see the exception, but it will go ahead and start the application for us. So it will not fail, it will not terminate your application. And you can say, okay, or this example, I know you'll be having a doubt. Okay, so where are we specifying the keys, the credentials to connect to the secrets manager? We are not telling which account to talk to. We are not, where are we giving those information, right? Because if I go back to the configuration file, the only thing I'm telling is in which region I have deployed my service, in which region I have to look at, but I'm not telling which account, right? So by default, your Springboard application will look at the .aws folder. So if I go back to my .aws folder, it will look out for this credential files, and in this credential files I have specified the secret key. I'm not going to open this for you, but this will just expose my credentials. But this is the file where I have set up the secret key and the secret ID. And if you have seen my previous videos by now, you should be very much familiar on how to create these credential files. If not, you can just go to your command prompt and type AWS configure. It will ask you for some IDs like which region and your secret ID and secret key, and it will create this credential file for you, right? So if I delete this credential file, our Springboard application will not know to which account it has to connect to, and it will throw an exception. So if you're deploying this application in an EC2 instance, make sure your EC2 instance has the roles and policies to connect to the secrets manager. Or if you're deploying this application in any on-prem server outside AWS, then you need to have this credential file somewhere in your server for your application to pick it up and connect to the secrets manager. All right, so this is it for today's video. So we have seen what is a secrets manager, how do you create that using an AWS console, and how does your Springboard application talk to your secrets manager. This is very much for today's video. Thank you, and very soon we'll come up with something more interesting. Goodbye.